This week, the NRA came out with a pretty unbelievable advertisement, and we are going to play some audio from that for you right now.
Are the president's kids more important than yours? Then why is he skeptical about putting armed security in our schools when his kids are protected by armed guards at their school? Mr. Obama demands the wealthy pay their fair share of taxes, but he's just another elitist hypocrite when it comes to a fair share of security. Protection for their kids and gun-free zones for ours.
What do you think about that one, Richard?
All right. Well,
aside from the epic movie sound effects that they were playing.
First things first on this clip. And I hate to talk about guns over and over again, but the first thing first on this clip is that I think it's absolutely positively like egregious that somebody would actually go after. Usually, politicians' kids are off limits unless they're older than 22 and they do something stupid. And clearly, this
then you're on your own.
And this like, I mean, Malia and Sasha they have done nothing wrong, and the fact that you would use them in an attack shows how desperate you are.
No one thinks that this isn't a national security issue. Like protecting the president's kids with armed guards so they can't be like held ransom somewhere or something like that is completely, you know. I mean, and that's the best. Way not a hard concept.
I mean, the truth of the matter is that's the best way to protect the president's kids, but to protect all American children, we've got to take guns out of schools.
Right, but protecting the president's kids protects all American children too. I think.
But I think the protection's a little bit different. I mean, the simple fact is we already know, and if anybody's a West Wing watcher out there, there was a season finale of The West Wing where
it's now on Netflix.
Where Abby Bartlett, not Abby, Zoe Bartlett was kidnapped, and I think when Zoe Bartlett was kidnapped, it stops the president's ability to function, and that's why they're protected.
Exactly.
I'll tell you what, Richard. Chris Christie actually had a great comment that echoes what you're saying about this issue.
Because I'm a father who's a public figure who has 4 children. And my children had no choice, realistically, in what I decided to do with my career and what effect that's had on their lives in making them somewhat public figures and making them subject to protection from the Executive Protection Unit.
Shame on you, NRA.
I mean, I just think they've gone too far here, and I think we're going to continue to see more and more of this from the NRA to get their point across. And they're losing this debate.
Oh yeah, they've pretty much lost this debate a long time ago. Like the NRA is not an organization of sportsmen. It is a, you know, cartel-funded representative.
They do have 4 million members, and they've gained 250,000 members. I mean, you got to give. I'll give
them that, but like,
I won't give the NRA much, but I'll give the NRA as they do speak for 4 million people.
They get most of their money.
Of them were added in the past 26 days.
But like a lot of those people, a ton of those people are lifetime members too. Like my grandma was a member of the NRA and would not. She's now passed, but like when she was alive a couple years ago, wouldn't have supported any of this crazy stuff.
No, I mean I agree. I don't think they would have supported it.
I think their membership is a lot more shallow than you think, and they don't get most of their money from their membership. They get most of their money from gun manufacturers.
I agree. I'm only giving them the point that they speak for 4 million Americans.
I'll give them that.
Members do get some great benefits,
and when you pull NRA members too, that's the thing. What the NRA says and what their members actually think are completely opposites.
But for the 296 million other Americans who want to have, they want their kids to have safe homes and safe schools and safe neighborhoods, there is a clear problem, and there's a clear gap between where the NRA is and where everyday Americans are.
Right. Which is why, like, the NRA's membership, for the most part, supports almost everything in Obama's legislation package.
No, and don't get me wrong, though. I do think that there's a distinction, and I will say this, and I'll probably upset a lot of progressives when I say it, but I'll tell you the truth. I think where the president and the vice president are, that's where I am. Where the NRA is on one side, the president and the vice president on the other side, and I think the American people are somewhere in the middle.
Yes. I think the American people, for the most part, support pretty much everything that Obama's proposing. Like, if we wanted, like, England-style gun laws or something like that, I think that's on the other side of the president. I think real liberal, super liberal gun reform, which would never work in America, is on the left side of the spectrum.
I think there's a lot of people in the middle that say, okay, I think we need an assault rifles ban. I think a lot of people. I mean, I think there's a lot of people. There's a lot of give and take here. I think there's people that would say we need more background checks, but we don't need an assault rifles ban.
Okay, I can see some of that.
And so I think most Americans are in the middle. There are certain things that I think we need to do right away. I think we need to be studying violent crimes and violent criminals. And I don't understand why that was banned in the first place.
And strengthening our mental health system.
We do need to strengthen our mental health, and I think we could agree there. I think we could also agree in universal background checks and getting more agents out there. And I think we also need more resources in school. And I think that is the most I think that if you look at all the parts of the plan, for me, that is the most standout, potent part. It forces colleges and universities to come up with responses on how to deal with guns and to how to deal with active shooters. It also funds sheriffs and SROs or school resource officers. So that they're police officers in the schools. So if there's not, I wouldn't say it's a false insecurity, but it really sort of puts police in the schools. I think one is a preventative measure. Two, it allows for them to have a backup plan.
Right.
And I think three, beyond that, I think it also allows us to have a real, it allows for a police presence so that people don't really feel as though the police are there to protect them and not necessarily as an enemy, an adversary, where they need a gun.
Okay. I don't see a lot that people can really object to in the plan.
I think the assault rifles ban is going to be hard to get through Congress.
Yes, definitely.
It needs to get through, but it's going to be hard to get through.
Right. And there's already a lot of assault rifles out there, too, which is the other thing people point to.
Oh, yeah.
What's a few more is the argument to that, which
I don't think that. I think that's a good point.
But I think that a lot of people are going to make that point.
And then what do? Criminalize owning an assault rifle?
Yeah.
People aren't going to do anything about that because all the people that own assault rifles probably are opposed to the assault rifle ban.
Right. For the most part.
So we can just fill up our prisons with more people.
Yeah. It's never going to... we got to look at the practical aspects of it.
But, I think the first place to start is a background check.
Yeah,
background checks I think is a given.
Untying the ATF's hands is the big part too. So you let them share data between states. You let everyone have access to the same data. You let them track which guns are being used in which crimes.
I think we do have there's a tracking problem when it comes to the guns that are out there. But I think the NIC system works, which is the background check system that they use for guns. Problem is that you can go to a gun show and you can buy a gun and not go through the NIC system.
Yeah, you got to close all the loopholes.